Coming up, a crime suspect is still on the loose after an officer-involved shooting in Fargo, the latest on the investigation. A West Fargo man is facing charges in connection with a shooting in Grand Forks. And demonstrators on both sides of the abortion debate hit the streets of Fargo. Hello and welcome to the Nightly Review. I'm Tom Tucker. We begin with a look at tonight's headlines, then a one-on-one conversation with one of the longest-serving members of the Moorhead City Council, talking about positive things happening in the city, while also commenting on the challenges of recruiting police officers. But first, tonight, the Fargo Police Department is still on the lookout for suspect Derek Stanley, the man who escaped law enforcement this past Friday after an officer-involved shooting in South Fargo. Authorities say Stanley was in a minivan with other crime suspects, Cody Dunn and driver Shane Netterville, when they tried to escape from officers. That's when Officer Adam O'Brien fired into the van, hitting Netterville, who died from the gunshot wound. Dunn is in custody. Officer O'Brien is now on paid leave while the shooting is investigated. A West Fargo man is in custody on an attempted murder charge. Court officials say 19-year-old Omar Duranjic faces 3 counts of terrorizing and a single count of attempted murder for his alleged involvement in a shooting Friday night in Grand Forks. Police say witnesses told them Duranjic displayed a handgun shortly before the shooting on Landeco Lane. We're told officers arrested Duranjic based on a description of his vehicle. The victim was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. A Fargo man was hurt when the motorcycle he was riding collided with a car on I-94 east of Moorhead Saturday night. 35-year-old Seth Bowman was taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The driver of the car was not hurt. The crash happened near mile marker 11 just after 7 p.m. Hundreds of demonstrators took to the streets in downtown Fargo Saturday night, with some in support of the recent Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade and others speaking out against the decision. The initial gatherings took place at Fargo City Hall and near Broadway Square. The demonstrations happened just days after the Red River Women's Clinic officially filed a lawsuit against the state of North Dakota after Attorney General Drew Wrigley activated the trigger law that will ban most abortions in the state by July 28th. Today, the Carrington Police Department laid to rest one of their own. Chief Brandon Sola was killed in an off-duty motorcycle crash near West Fargo on June 28th. Investigators say Sola lost control when his motorcycle began to wobble and he was thrown from the bike. We're told a police escort led the funeral procession from Carrington to Fargo, where Sola was laid to rest at the Fargo National Cemetery. The procession ran through Carrington, and residents were encouraged to gather along Highway 281 to also pay their respects. Backers of a ballot measure to legalize cannabis in North Dakota report submitting more than 25,000 signatures to the North Dakota Secretary of State. The signatures are aimed at qualifying the initiative for the statewide general election ballot later this year. New approach, North Dakota began collecting signatures in late April. The minimum number of signatures needed to qualify for the ballot is 15,582. If the initiative qualifies for the ballot and is approved by voters, it will allow adults 21 and older to possess limited amounts of cannabis and purchase products from registered cannabis establishments. The CEO of the Red River Valley Fair says he's expecting this year's fair attendance to hit a new record.
Everybody's expecting the best fair yet, and that's exactly what we're going to deliver this year. We have really set the bar high this year, and our plan is to make sure that everybody that comes through the gate has the greatest experience ever, like they're walking into Disney World.
Cody Cashman says his goal for attendance this year is 200,000. That's far more than the record amount set last year, which was 137,000 people. Cashman says all available vendor space is occupied, and the fair opened last Friday and runs through Sunday. You can find more information about the fair online at redrivervalleyfair.com. Gate City Bank has reached an agreement to pay more than $5 million to settle a class action lawsuit. The Grand Forks Herald says the agreement must still be approved by a judge. The bank is admitting no wrongdoing, but is accused of improperly assessing fees on customers for overdrafts and insufficient funds for several years. Gate City Bank operates branches in 43 cities in North Dakota and Minnesota. In Bismarck, they're celebrating the city's 150th anniversary. To mark the occasion, the city's Historic Preservation Commission has announced new self-guided walking maps and an audio tour to help residents and tourists alike learn about the history and heritage of Bismarck. Those interested can download the Talking Trails app and listen to audio recordings about 10 sites in the community. And the city of Fargo ranks well in Wallet Hub's newly released list for the most and least stressed cities across the country. The personal finance website lists Fargo as the 5th least stressed city in America. The study was done across 40 key metrics, including average work hours, unemployment rates, divorce, and even suicide rates. The least stressed city? Fremont, California. And the most stressed is Cleveland, Ohio. Well, if you enjoy the Nightly Review and find it a great source for news coverage for all that is happening in the FM Metro, please take a moment to subscribe and hit the bell button below to make sure you're always up to date. And we appreciate you supporting our efforts. Weather-wise, a very pleasant and comfortable afternoon across the Red River Valley. Can we expect the same tomorrow? Meteorologist Justin Storm has the forecast from the Skywatch Weather Center.
Thanks, Tom. As we head throughout this evening, there will be a slight chance for an isolated thunder shower, although most areas will remain dry. We'll have partly cloudy skies going mostly clear to tonight with a northwest wind around 10 to 25. We'll hang on to the breeze for your Thursday. With highs near 80, it will be partly cloudy. Again, a slight chance for an isolated thunder shower, but really limited east of the Red River Valley. For your Wednesday, it will be our pick day of the week. Highs in the mid-80s, mostly sunny, low humidity, and a light breeze out of the southeast around 5 to 15.
It could happen to you or someone you love. One moment, one diagnosis can change everything. Thankfully, there's a program that helps caring people uplift families through a crisis. Lend a Hand Up, raising financial help and hope through community benefits and online campaigns. A program that boosts generosity so gifts go further. Lend a Hand Up helps you help your neighbors. Learn more and give at lendahandup.org.
Welcome back to the Nightly Review. My guest for tonight's one-on-one conversation is Chuck Hendrickson, an incumbent on the Moorhead City Council who is running for re-election. As one of the longest-serving council members, Hendrickson is seeking his third four-year term, representing Ward 4 in the southeastern part of the city. I first asked Hendrickson why he's running.
I'm seeking office again because Moorhead has a lot of momentum going right now, and I felt like I've nurtured that throughout my years, and you want to keep it going. You want to keep the infrastructure projects going. You want to keep the economic development going. And I think we're in a good spot right now. And I want to be a part of that.
What would you say are some of the more compelling things happening right now in the city of Moorhead that people should be excited about and looking forward to?
I think the growth of Moorhead and the economic development. You can see projects up all over the city, especially south of 94 there. With the old Sunmark, that's being redeveloped. The old Days Inn, that's being redeveloped. So we have a lot of things going in Moorhead right now. So, and then we have the community center library on the November ballot. See if we can get a sales tax to get that through. And I think that would be key to, shaping Moorhead and keeping Moorhead together and, having a downtown that's connected. So.
What has been done in the past that is proving to be a contributing factor now to some of the growth and forward momentum happening in the city?
I think the council working together for economic development, we all believe in economic development, but our EDA director, Derek LaPointe, and our city manager, Dan Molly, have really, nourished our economic development. And developers want to come over and talk to us now, and I think they're a big part of it. And businesses want to come over and talk to us because I think Derek LaPointe and Dan Molly have been a big part of that. So it's just been a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice to get to where we're at right now, but I think it's working, and I can give those two a lot of credit along with the past city councils.
What would you say are some of the biggest issues now before the city that need to be addressed and that currently occupy a lot of your mental space?
I'm a big believer in public safety, and we're having a real hard time keeping police officers. I think we're pretty much staffed right now, but it's hard time. It's it gets hard retaining them. So I think we need to keep our police force and keep them here. And then infrastructure projects too. We have a lot of cast iron pipe in Moorhead, and we need to get that switched out. We do have a plan where we are going to replace cast iron pipe, but we need to keep committed to that too. And with growth, you're going to have infrastructure problems, and I think we're seeing some of that right now. But we've been handling it; it's been going really well. So,
I'd like to thank Moorhead City Council member Chuck Hendrickson for joining me for tonight's one-on-one conversation. Hendrickson has served as mayor pro tem or deputy mayor for the past 3 years. There are a total of 4 seats on the city council, and the mayor's seat all to be decided on November 8th. Well, that will do it for this Monday night, July 11th, 2022. I'm Tom Tucker. Thanks for watching the Nightly Review.